Hello and welcome everyone. It is time to enter the kumite. Remember, this is not a sport. You don't play fight. What's up, fight fans? Today we're taking a closer look at the upcoming fight between Rafael Dos Anjos and Rafael Fiziev, the battle of the Rafaels. Either man can win this fight, but let's take a closer look at how they may win this fight. I really do believe that Dos Anjos will be separating himself from Fiziev with his grappling in this one. To start, he's a BJJ black belt and actually came into the UFC as a BJJ fighter. He learned his kickboxing and his wrestling along the way, and his wrestling has come a long way, especially considering how many grappling-heavy training camps that he went into. He fought Khabib, Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman, Benson Henderson, Kevin Lee. I have a feeling that he's going to unleash that superior grappling on a kickboxer such as Fiziev, who's probably too willing to get in close and dirty.
So let's take a look at some things to keep an eye out for during this brawl. Dos Anjos usually fights from a wide karate stance, converting to a more narrow, almost kickboxing stance when he's loading up for a significant strike, usually that left hand. This makes him more vulnerable, in my opinion, to outside and inside leg kicks, and I can't help but feel that Dos Anjos almost telegraphs his strikes while covering up easily with his speed. It's hard to say his wide karate stance is a weakness when he's made such a good use of his lead head kicks. Being able to land those swift, stiff kicks can easily slow any fighter down. And personally, I don't see Fiziev trying to take this to the ground, but if all else fails, Dos Anjos has a significant advantage in his wrestling department. Out the gate, Dos Anjos has great head movement, almost to the point of being overreactive. However, his evasion seems to take a turn whenever he takes a little head damage up top. In the Alvarez fight, we saw this as a hindrance to Dos Anjos with some mistimed feints and telegraphed reactions. This unfortunately gave Alvarez the ability to time some well-placed uppercuts, eventually giving him the advantage in winning the fight.
So we can't ignore the fact that Rafael Fiziev comes from a Muay Thai background. It's embedded in the way he throws his kicks, in the way he engages in clinch, his style of defense, and his head movement. He utilizes a lot of footwork. He does a great job at cutting angles and threatening different techniques, even switching stances to mix all of your defenses up, what you think he's going to throw, what you know he can throw. When he's engaging, he tends to rely on this slip to check left hook that can also be turned into a single tie clinch or an underhook. For the bad or the good, he utilizes this very often. He has great elbows in clinch. I am worried about some of his habits in clinch, though. He seems to not fight for the underhooks hard enough. It's like he's more concerned with finding that next attack. He can't approach clinch like that with RDA. RDA will dive down for a double leg or an ankle pick or anything that he can see as an opening. Fiziev's footwork and understanding of position is quite honestly unmatched. Let's take a closer look at his fight with Brad Riddell, who is also a high-level kickboxer himself. Note how Fiziev steps into range, meets Riddell's hands, then pulls back, steps closer, then gives a look like he's about to toss out a low kick or a side kick underneath Riddell's jab. From here, he actually swings into orthodox and threatens a power head kick from there. This gets Riddell to skirt along the outside away from that power kick, and Fiziev throws out the spinning kick to the head. Unfortunately, Riddell predicted the kick to land on the body and decides to block low. I kind of feel like I would have guessed that as well in the fight. Fiziev masked that really well and gave Riddell too much to think about in that moment. I would have thought that he'd feint up high twice and then go for the body, but that's the game you play when you fight for a living.
I love how dirty Fiziev can get in the fight, dude. Not even dirty, just unpredictable.
He's got so many different things he can throw and looks he can give you and angles that he can cut.
Too many weapons, man.
And he's got the weapons that he can throw, but while he's even throwing those, he's also mixing up his footwork to set up the next, line of attack, the next combo.
Right.
I see Fiziev's body kicks finding a home in there. I honestly see both of their body kicks being a valuable tool, but I see Fiziev having more impact. You can tell this dude has been kicking banana trees like it's a daily chore. Like I said, though, I see Dos Anjos' grappling being the biggest threat for Fiziev in this fight. I just see Fiziev being confident enough to play his normal game and not over-respect Dos Anjos' wrestling offense, and this may prove to be detrimental. Ultimately, though, I'm going with Rafael Dos Anjos via second round submission, maybe something from top mount. RDA is tough, and I don't see Fiziev finding the finish with the potential of the grappling. And I think if RDA gets him down, that he'll use his BJJ to finish the fight. Some people are going to hate me for making that pick. I hate me for making that pick. because I'm really high on Rafael Fiziev. I think he's one of the top dogs of the lightweight division, for sure. But I think Dos Anjos is just too experienced and well-rounded, and I really think we're going to see him impose that on Fiziev. There are still questions that need to be answered about Rafael Fiziev's takedown defense and how well he can recover when he's taken down. We know he's strong in clinch, but what is he going to do when someone relentlessly attacks a takedown from clinch? We just don't know yet. He hasn't fought the elite-level grapplers that are in the UFC, and Dos Anjos is one of them.
Dude, you're right. Both of these fighters have shown that they both have what it takes to take home a win. I just don't know who wants it more. Fiziev has definitely shown that he is willing to get down and dirty, but Dos Anjos won't go down without a fight. From what I've seen, I feel Fiziev has the skills and the willpower to get the job done, along with more weapons. Not to undermine what RDA has done in his career, but in my opinion, Fiziev has, like I said, more weapons at his disposal, and I see Fiziev in the third round with a TKO.
Ooh, do you think? What do you think it'll be?
I feel like he's going to condition Dos Anjos into those body kicks, and I can see either an elbow catching, or I can see a spinning kick.
He's really good at those spinning kicks, and he's good at making someone think about the power head kick into the spinning kick and run into a spinning kick.
And he really enjoys those flashy knockouts. He really enjoys putting on a show.
I mean, he trained for years at Tiger Muay Thai, which is the OG Muay Thai training camp in Thailand itself.
Where's Tiger at? Thailand?
Yeah.
This guy's freaking bona fide.
Yeah, it's the OG Muay Thai training camp. And one thing I will say is that RDA has had a very long career, and it seems similar to the way that Robbie Lawler kind of carried on with his career as things progressed and he got older. He may be a little desensitized. I feel like he's lost a little bit of that fire that he had when he originally came in. And that may be a big contributing factor to how this fight plays out.
That's another reason why I'm saying third round is looking at RDA's career, very extensive, a lot of brawls, maybe too much damage.
Maybe too much damage, and like you were saying, he's predictable. He's fast, but he's predictable. So what we've seen repetitively throughout RDA's careers, if you look at a number of his losses, the opponent starts to figure him out as the fight goes on, and then they start to kind of run away with the fight. And he keeps trying to do the same thing.
Kind of like in the Alvarez fight. He just kept trying to find a way to make that left hand work.
Yeah.
And eventually Alvarez was, all right, you're going to go for that left hand. I'm going to take you down. We're going to fight down here for a minute, and then we're going to come back up.
And RDA is very well-rounded, but he doesn't make the necessary adjustments on the highest levels of MMA.
Exactly. He doesn't get away from his game plan after somebody's figured it out.
Yeah. Even if his coaches are yelling at him in Portuguese about what he should be doing, sometimes he just doesn't make those adjustments, and he keeps taking the same damage. And we've seen this cycle happen with RDA. But I think Rafael Fiziev's going to be one of the best in the world. I just don't think this is going to be. I just don't think this is a favorable matchup for Fiziev.
It's definitely an obstacle.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I could see Fiziev getting it done, and I think Fiziev will be in the top 5, but we haven't seen Fiziev go up against too many wrestlers. And RDA isn't specifically a wrestler, but he does have great wrestling, and he's one of the best BJJ fighters in the lightweight division.
Agreed.
With that, I'll go ahead and wrap things up. If you like the content we're providing, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you disagree with our picks, make sure to berate us down in the comments below. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and you can even follow me personally on Twitter. Remember, this is not a sport. You don't play fight.